Guys, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by again. Like I said, new videos coming, so here we go. Let's get this, let's call it the new season. The new season of collecting vintage watches starts now. So, what I want to talk about in this video, how we start changing our collections. What the different routes our collections take. When we start buying, we think we're going to keep that watch forever and ever, and it's a grail piece, or it's something that's close to a grail piece. And it doesn't need to be a Patek, it doesn't need to be a Rolex to be a grail piece. It just needs to be something that you really like, something that really reminds you of something, something that really, really hits the spot for you. If it doesn't hit the spot for the rest of the community, so be it. You know, I see some watch collectors there that are in love with an Omega Seamaster from the 60s. That's their grail piece. So that's what they liked when they bought it. That's what they liked in that moment in time. But as all collections, they evolve, they change. The trends start changing a little bit. So if you're a collector that collects with the trends, I mean, that's good for you. That's what you like to do. That's fine. I'm a collector that I like to keep what really, really interests me, something that I really fall in love with. I've said it on previous videos. I have a lot of watches that come in and out of this bench, and very few watches wow me nowadays. You know, I've seen them all. There's very few watches that I say it's really nice. I wish I had that watch. You know, and some I divide those into two parts. Half of them that I say I wish I could have that watch. I can't afford it, and the other half are pieces so rare that are a customer's piece, that are they came in for something and they're not available out there. And even if they're not a lot of money, they're just not available. You can't find them. You know, rarity doesn't mean they're valuable. They just mean that it just means that it's rare. So I mean, sometimes I see those watches, and that's the type of watch I would say I'm going to keep this watch forever. But in my collection, I've been looking it over, and I did a state of the collection on December, I think, of 2017. So there's a video down here somewhere in my other videos, so you could look for it and see my collection. I'm going to change my collection. There's some watches there that barely or never get any wrist time. So I'm thinking, I don't know what route to go, but I'm thinking I want to shrink my collection and shrink it into a 5-piece collection instead of I think I have right now like about 12 or 13 pieces. To a lot of you guys, that's not a lot, and to a lot of other guys with a little bit of sanity, that's more than enough, and even a little bit too much. But what do you do with your collection? When you buy a watch, do you keep it forever? Do you say, this is a watch I'm going to keep and I'm never going to sell, but then 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, you end up not feeling the same for that watch? I don't want to say falling out of love with the watch. I just want to say falling out of interest, if that's a loophole or that's something that you could say with a watch in your collection. As of right now, I will announce it in another video, but I'm going to be posting 5 watches for sale that it's hard for me to get rid of them, but I'm going to sit down, I'm going to look at my collection, and I'm going to say which ones are not going to hurt me the most to let go, you know, and try to bring a little bit of sanity to this watch collecting thing, because it gets out of hand. You probably know how it gets out of hand. You know, I talk to a lot of you guys that have 60 watches, 70 watches, 80 watches, and like I said, they don't have to be all Patek, Rolex, Omega, Dark Side of the Moon. They don't have to be all over, you know, a mortgage payment, let's say, on a watch. There's some of you that are so happy and content, and I respect it a lot, with watches that are, you know, $50, $60, $70. And I want to go back to that place. I want to go back to collecting and keeping watches that are not an arm and a leg, that are easy to maintain, that are just fun, watches that are fun. When you start getting into the watches that are, this is historically blah blah blah, you know, it it kind of takes the fun out of it, you know. I or I have this watch and I'm not going to wear it because if I scratch it, it's going to devalue the watch. Then why have that watch? You know, I want something. I'm going to keep it in my collection. Something I'm going to wear every day. I'm going to take to work. I'm not going to worry about it. And vintage or new. I'm not going to make any exceptions. Vintage or new. I'm going to make my collection wearable, usable pieces that if they break, so be it. They break. If I scratch it, so be it. I scratched it. You know, and not be so paranoid about my collection. What do you guys think? What do you guys? What if you're a seasoned collector? If you've been collecting for a few years, or even if you're a new collector, you know, if you're a new collector, like big new collector, I say 3 years. If you've been collecting 3 years, you're probably still way in love with that first or second piece you bought. You know, unless you're inherited it from your father, your grandfather, your uncle, or somebody. You know, that's different. That's not even. I don't even consider those part of a collection. I consider those family heirlooms. So that's you can't count those in a collection. A collection is something that you bought that you orchestrated the deal, that you orchestrated the hunt of the watch, looked, you know, located, bought it, got it, and if it was broken, you got it to work or send it out to work. That's your collection, not a family heirloom. That's you, if you have that in your collection, you have to put those aside. I haven't even showed you guys the watches that I've kept from my family. You know, that's totally different. Collecting, or your collection, is what you made, you, only you. You know, the ones that you are going to pass down to your kids. That's considered your personal collection. So, what do you guys think? Where are you at on your collection? What process? Do you think you're going to keep those watches forever? Forever is a damn long time. You know, I've had some of my watches now for 7, 8, 9 years, and a lot of them I can't see myself parting with, but some of them, I look at them now and it's like, they could go. They could go, and something you could come in and freshen up the stock. You know, freshen up the watch roll. Something exciting again. You know, hey, try to have something that excites you, that motivates you. You know, so guys, tell me what you think. Where are you guys going? What are you guys doing with your collections? Are you going to be married to these watches, or are you more lightheaded and more? I can't find a perfect word, but I want to say not as crazy as I am to say I'm never ever going to sell this watch. And then 5, 6 years down the line, you figure out that ever is a long time. Guys, let me know. Thank you for stopping by again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you did like this video, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And guys, have a good one. Thank you so much.